called Hellbound Lifestyle. It's by Alabaster Pizzo and Kaylee Forsyth. And I'll show you like the art style's very colourful. It's anecdotes about this woman's life and it's kind of funny things. So it's about like Instagram and different stuff. I liked the Instagram one and I loved the funeral one. I thought it was hilarious. But some of them I just didn't understand or get. I really liked the full colour pages. Like this is a Christmas party. I thought the style was really interesting, but I didn't get all of them. So it's like, you know, in a short story collection you like some, you don't like others. The majority of them I felt went over my head. I didn't get the references for them, but I thought this was an okay book. I then finished this, which is a Sabrina the Teenage Witch book. I loved Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It was my thing when I was younger. I had a Sabrina the Teenage Witch house with her little characters. I used to dress up as her. I was obsessed. And Salem, her talking cat, was my favourite character, like hands down. So this is a book by Nancy Kurlik, and basically Sabrina the Teenage Witch came from Archie Comics. It was then turned into a TV series by Nell Scovell, and then Nancy wrote the books. Okay, so it's been in loads of different people's hands. So Sabrina isn't Nancy's original character. This book was about, it's set on Halloween, and Sabrina wants to set her friend Roxy up with a man, but all the boys just aren't very good, and a bit of players and different stuff. So she gets a doll and she turns the plastic Barbie, like Ken doll, into a real life man, but he can only say certain things that he's been programmed to say as a doll. It's just really confusing. And on the TV series it works because the actress was so good, her little facial expressions, then you'd have Salem talking, it all would work really well. But I think like written down it's just really boring. I feel really bad because I love Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but it was just really slow and it didn't have the charm. I think it's really dragged out. It was way too long. Yeah, sorry, but the TV series, watch the TV series if you can. It's so freaking good. I'm so sorry, Sabrina. I've just finished this book, which is The Worst Witch by Jill Murphy. I used to watch a TV series and be in love with it, but I'd never read the book. It's a book series. It's basically, get ready, an academy for young witches. So similar to Harry Potter, but it's only like female witches. And our main character is called Mildred. She's hopeless, useless. I absolutely adore her, and it's about them starting. This one is obviously the introduction to the series, so you're just getting to know her, getting to know several characters. I thought this was really good, and I thought it would be quite boring because it's an introduction to a series. No, a lot happens. She like saves the school in this first book episode. So I was like, oh, I really loved it, but I'm going to show you the pictures. At the beginning of each chapter on the first letter there's always a little illustration. This is my favourite one of the little tabby cat. This is again one of my favourite drawings from the book. There's Mildred and her lovely little friend Maud, and they've gone invisible but they're slowly coming back, and I love how that's drawn. I could literally go through the whole book and like point out every single picture because I love them so much. But please read The Worst Witch, it's so cute. This came out before Harry Potter, so everyone's like, oh, J.K. Rowling started the Harry Potter like witches and witches. Please calm yourself. And it's cozy and it's warm and it's lovely and it's actually very funny. This is my favourite children's magical story ever. Take that, J.K. Rowling. Bam. I still like you, J.K. Don't worry, we're on good terms, but you know, Jill's beating you. Just saying. I've just finished this comic here, which is by DC. It's a Harley Quinn comic, and it's a special one because it's Undercover Punker Part 1. And it's basically where Harley Quinn has to turn into a punk because she needs to create a punk band to find the criminals who are another punk band. Oh, it's getting sassy out there. Show you the picture of her as a punk. I think she looks so freaking cool. Like I want a whole series of this. Oh my god. I want a whole series of this. This is fun. I love Harley Quinn. I love how she's like a complete psycho bitch, but also like a southern sweetheart at the same time. I am in love with her so freaking much. It's a lot of fun. It ends on a cliffhanger because obviously it's to be continued, but it's still a lot of fun. Read it, read it, read it. This is The Dark 2 by Linda Cargill. I read the Dark one and I reviewed it in my last wrap up, and I said that it was an okay book and I gave my reasons for it. Now the charm of the first book, it was a little bit cliche, but it had a slight charm to it that I was like, that's actually an okay book. The charm was missing in The Dark too. It's a continuation of the first story, but one thing you must know is the first story doesn't end on a cliffhanger. The first story, everything's wrapped up, and then this one starts with, oh, well forget the end of the last one because it's carrying on. What? This was just like, no. There's a hostage situation on a plane. I mean, where are teenagers getting a plane? Cliche after cliche. None of the characters were likeable. There were no real relationships like in the first one there was. So, yeah, hated it. Hated it. I've just finished two things. I'll start with this one. This is a graphic novel. This is called Dear Julia. It's by Brian Briggs, and I'll show you the art style. I thought the art style was really beautiful, kind of heavy shading, very, very dark. And it's about a man who wants to fly. He has this impulse that makes him want to jump off tall buildings and different stuff like that. I felt like nothing happened. I thought it was going to be so good. Because at the beginning, he's writing a letter to Julia. We never find out who Julia is, although, like, you can make up your mind who you think she is. And he's just saying that he's going to jump, he's going to fly, he wants to fly. But I felt like nothing was really explained. It needed to be longer. If it had been double the size and gone more into his backstory, it would have been very interesting. Also, I wanted to know more about Julia. I just thought it was kind of like a nothing kind of book, and graphic novels are so expensive. I was just like, ugh. I then finished this, which is A Sprinkling of Lesbian Short Stories by Q Kelly. This has 3 short stories in it and 1 novella, and I thought this was... I cannot wait to review it. It is so freaking good, but I'm going to give it its own video. The only thing that I thought didn't work was the novella, which is the novella is a novel she's written, but she's shortened it to a novella to put it in here, and I don't feel like there was enough of a story in that, but I am going to buy the novel. So it was kind of like a snippet of, well, if you like this, you'll like the novel, and I freaking loved it. It was so clever, it was so well done. I really am going to read everything Q Kelly's ever written.